Hello everybody, welcome back. So it looks like we're seeing to have a bit more of a problem here, aren't we? So this was a ascending triangle, which is, well, I suppose it basically has broken down. We've not closed on it yet. We saw the wick down into it yesterday, didn't we? That's what we got, a nice wick basically into it, and a bit of a bounce from it, but this morning, wow, big time collapse basically from that. So that's actually pretty bearish, I have to say, because ascending triangles are supposed to be more likely to break out than break down because the resistance remains the same and the support goes higher. So unfortunately that is not the case over here. There's one last little saving grace below us sitting at this 200 exponential and also this horizontal line of significance. You can see that this is just a basic horizontal from the shorter term time frames over here since we reclaimed these areas. But we've also got this 200 exponential here as well, and that's sitting around 65,600. So yeah, a bit of a problem here for old Bitcoin. So not entirely sure how much confidence we ought to have in it, but we've not completely broken down from that area. And also we've not closed this daily. The daily can move either way, throughout the day. I mean, it's got a bit of room to make up. It doesn't have to necessarily close below this Bollinger Band. It could get reabsorbed back into it. It's only a 2.5% move if that was the case. But at the moment, we look at these charts in the mornings, don't we? I make these videos morning, in the UK time. And as a result of that, this is what it looks like at the moment. So if it were to close this way, then yeah, you probably could get a bounce up to that level. But if we get the closure below the Bollinger Band, it's more likely that we're going to use it as resistance. And then basically, this is going to be nothing more than a lower high, and then maybe another lower high, in the upper 60s, and then see where we go from there. So if that's how it's going to be for us, really, for Bitcoin, it might be that that's the way it's going to be for altcoins and everybody all over the world, every single altcoin. So before we start looking, in fact, there's probably not much point in looking at any altcoins because we know that they're just going to move with the market. Let's have a look at the bigger market, the broader market, being the S&P and all those things. So, S&P futures. Again, it's been a bit of a sorry few days because obviously we've had bank holidays and the weekends and stuff. But, we were trading yesterday, and let's have a little look. So, it's not looking particularly happy. It's still relatively sideways and static on the S&P, so there's not a great deal to say about that. Let's have a look at, not oil, but Dixie. Where? Sorry. Bank holidays are not good for me. So the Dixie has moved up, and we're moving up towards this next area of resistance, so 105.35. So there is plenty of bearish divergence on this 4-hourly. Most of it's cancelled out, but there's attempts to have bearish divergence. We are looking to get higher highs and higher lows on the RSI as well. So this is still a trend in the making. We might be toying with the idea of having a bit of a double peak around here, but I think that this is a trend now. So we accept what we see. We take it on board. We recognise that maybe this market is getting ready for maybe more correction, and if it's not, no big deal, but a protective stance has always been my preferred outcome, as I was saying over the weekend. And actually, just a little bit before, looking to move into an 80% cash position. I didn't quite make the 80%, but still quite large cash position. And, it's for these sort of reasons that I'm like that. I don't think that there's any sort of reason to be afraid of, well, that's not the right word. I don't think there's too much concern about trying to buy this dip, but you have to buy the appropriate dip on the appropriate coin, and also buy the dip, sell the rip, which has been our whole thing since December. So if you want to do that, then that's fine. It's a decent strategy, but just don't get greedy. Think about where we are right now, below supports, which should probably flip to resistance, which probably means 67,500 to 68,000 is resistance at this point. And so if you are going to buy that dip, remember that's only a 2.5% rip. Is it really a rip? I don't really see that as a rip. But look, altcoins are altcoins, and they can bounce harder, much faster, and all over the place. So it's up to you to determine where and what it is that you're going to buy. Personally, I think sitting in a cash position or a larger cash position is kind of cool. Right, thank you. I hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.